prisoners are only allowed to eat rice once a week, but when he puts it in his mouth, he refuses to swallow. He spits out all the rice and dries it in the sun, then hides it at the bottom of a water bucket. The others cannot understand what he's doing, that rice could have been a proper meal for them, but the man insists on his plan, because he will use the rice to escape. At other times, they are forced to eat disgusting insects. The prisoners are already starving and thin. Even so, this kind of food is hard to swallow. Only Mark eats it with ease. What they do not expect is that in the days ahead, even those insects are no longer available. The situation grows worse and worse. They have no idea what is happening. Mark recalls how they were treated when first captured and thinks missing a few meals is nothing. Later, one of the prisoners overhears the guards talking and learns that the guards have no food either. Years of war have made it impossible to find supplies nearby. The guards plan to drive them into the forest and kill them, then return to their hometown. Mark realizes they cannot wait any longer. They must escape as soon as possible. During the day, they are allowed some freedom to move, but at night, their hands and feet are chained together, leaving them unable to act. Mark notices a nail on a wooden post beside the guards. He tells the others to spread out to distract the guards, while he walks over and squeezes out some toothpaste, pretending to brush his teeth, then secretly pulls the nail from the post. After getting the nail, he sharpens it into a long, thin piece. That night, after the guards leave, Mark spits out the nail he has hidden in his mouth and uses it to unlock the handcuffs. This gives the others hope. The next day, after the guards leave again, Mark unlocks the cuffs once more. He extends a small mirror outside to observe the guards' positions. They use wooden plugs and small stones to mark the exact positions of the guards and the locations of the guns. At that moment, a rifle is suddenly aimed at Mark's head. Mark quickly explains it is just a game. Fortunately, they do not speak the same language, so the guard does not understand what he said. That night, the prisoners pry open the floor. Mark avoids the guard's line of sight and quietly moves to the fence, digging out the soil beneath it, creating a gap in the barrier. The next day, Mark and his companions return to check the spot. After confirming everything is ready, he gathers everyone to prepare for the escape. He takes out the small mirror to observe outside again and sees that all the guards are gathered in the kitchen, while the guns are left outside. This becomes a perfect opportunity to break out. The prisoners extend a small mirror outside the hut and see that all the guards are gathered in the kitchen. This becomes the perfect chance to escape. They immediately pry up the floorboards, move to the fence, and crawl out through the opening. Prepared earlier, Mark reaches the kitchen entrance. After confirming it is safe, he quietly takes the guns leaning by the door, then hands them to the others. He tells them to flank the guards from the other side. But Dewey is too nervous and starts vomiting after just a few steps. Mark cannot afford to wait, so he charges in alone. When he reaches the guards, he realizes no one is coming from the other side. He has no choice but to open fire, driving the guards away. Only then does he realize the others have already fled. Mark is furious, but now he can only clean up with Dewey because several guards escaped. They cannot stay for long. The two run deep into the jungle and arrive at a riverbank. They build a raft. Floating downstream will save energy, but before they get far, they encounter a waterfall. They almost die there. The brutal escape makes them want to give up, but the thought of seeing their families again gives them the strength to keep going. They avoid using guns to hunt, fearing it will attract enemies, so they throw the weapons into the river to lighten the load. After falling into the water earlier, their food was lost. They have not eaten for 2 days. Dewey no longer has the strength to keep moving. They reach an abandoned village and decide to rest and recover. Seeing Dewey's condition worsening, Mark keeps describing the meals they will have once they get home. At that moment, Mark suddenly spots a plane from his homeland flying toward them. He runs to an open area and shouts, but in the vast jungle, he is too small to be seen. The plane flies right over them. Dewey loses his last hope. Mark says goodbye to his companion. Then with great effort, he manages to start a fire. He sets the entire house ablaze. The flames attract the plane back. Mark waves his arms excitedly, but the plane mistakes him for an enemy and opens fire on him. He nearly gets killed. Hope turns into despair. Mark completely breaks down before he still had a companion. Now he is all alone. He does not know how many more days he can survive. The next day, Mark stands by the river, unsure where to go. Suddenly, he hears the sound of aircraft again. He immediately waves large banana leaves. This time, the people on the plane finally notice him. Soon after, 2 helicopters arrive quickly. Mark's persistence is finally rewarded.